Ever wanted to see the artwork for the original TV series but never had the chance to? Well, now you can help to make it happen. Robert Gold Galliers has recently expressed an interest in creating a coffee table book with all drawings for the Thomas and Friends TV series and possibly Tugs and Jack and the Sodor Construction Company. SIF staff member Nicholas has created a petition online to highlight the interest in such a book, but we need your help to make this dream a reality. Just sign the petition today for a chance to make your voice heard. Link is in the description. Passing Loop Pickle. And it served him right too, chortled Sir Handel. Peter Sam wanted to retort, but he had to admit Sir Handel was right. Ah, that wasn't all that happened, was it? Came a voice. Sir Handel groaned. His moment had gone again. As I remember, the voice continued as an all too familiar black figure approached the trio, it went like this. Peter Sam stayed shut in the works for several days, but one day the doors opened and he was allowed out again. He smiled in the sunshine as he was polished, cold and watered. But Sir Handel wasn't smiling. He'd had to do Peter Sam's work as well as his own. The damage to Peter Sam was relatively minor, so his repairs didn't take long. But to Sir Handel, a few days was all he needed to start complaining. I'm overworked as it is, he fumed. I don't have time to pick up your slack. Peter Sam said nothing. He still felt very silly about the accident and wanted to start work to prove himself to be really useful again. The new diesel carried out his work with an unusually sad expression on his face. Everyone wondered why, but whenever he was asked, he would either change the subject or refuse to respond altogether. But he worked hard while Peter Sam was being repaired. He did well on the goods trains, and although he found it hard to handle the passenger services, the coaches all understood that he was trying his best. They decided to always help and remain patient with him, partly because they rather feared what Skarloey might do if he found out they didn't. But it was the maintenance work with Mr. Hugh and the Permanent Way gang where the diesel really found his strengths. The men had to admit that a more dedicated and observant member of the fleet they had never seen when it came to the condition of the line. What an eye, they marvelled. We'd never have noticed some of these bumps if it weren't for him. We'd have just felt them as we went over, and who knows what that would have done. They were fond of the little diesel. He was built by Ruston and Hornsby on the mainland. Mr. Hugh combined the two names together and approached the owner, who had no hesitation in christening him Rusty. He liked this name. It's better than just being called a diesel, he would say. Having a name makes an engine feel like they really belong. Everyone liked Rusty. Everyone except Sir Handel, that is. What's he doing here? Sir Handel sneered in the sheds one morning. Why on earth would the Finn controller arrange for one of those things to be brought here, after what that diesel on the big railway did? Because we need another engine, Peter Sam explained. We can't keep up with this work with Skarloey gone. You mean I can't? Fumed Sir Handel. You go ahead and lose control of your trucks, and now you've as good as gotten out of this work. Well, someone's changed their tune, retorted Peter Sam. And anyway, what would Grandpa say if he saw you now, eh? Sir Handel fell silent. He didn't like to think of it. Just then, the Finn controller came running up, looking flustered. Of all the luck, he exclaimed. Rusty's gone and broken down. Now we're down to one engine. What about me, sir? Asked Peter Sam. Peter Sam? Are you sure? The fin controller asked. He has just been repaired, sir, said a workman. And I would love to have a run again, Peter Sam added. If I take Sir Handel's train, he can take over Rusty's maintenance work and bring him home afterwards. The fin controller relented. Very well, he said. But no trouble, please. We really can't afford another accident. Peter Sam understood. Sir Handel, on the other hand, just seethed in anger as he puffed away to collect the maintenance train. Peter Sam watched on, feeling concerned. He had a nasty feeling that trouble was around the corner. They found Rusty halfway up the line. The little diesel looked very upset by all that had happened. I'm very sorry about all this, Rusty tried to explain. It's my fan belt, it just... Sir Handel snorted. He just coupled up behind the train and took it the rest of the way to the top station. He had wanted to bump it, but he had seen that Cora was on the train, and wisely decided against it. They soon approached Skarloey station. Since Peter Sam's runaway, the condition of the line here had improved, but there was still one section that needed work. It was close to the edge of the gradient and had not been ballasted yet. Because of this, the line sagged considerably, and the rails began to resemble a tightrope. Yet it needed to be tested before the ballast could be applied to ensure the joints were secured and the correct arrangements had been made. Bertie the bus had taken some workmen up to the loop to relieve the night watchman. He stopped within view of the station as his passengers got out. He wasn't due to return for a few minutes, and was therefore in a perfect viewing area for what happened next. What? Me? Protested Sir Handel. Me? Make my way over that piece of track? Yes, you, replied his driver. Shut! Sir Handel snorted. Don't be silly, his driver said. If we don't help fix this line, that means the repairs will take longer. There'll be more delays as a result, and the passengers will say this is a bad railway. And I don't think you want that, do you? Sir Handel grunted and begrudgingly agreed. Fancied a bit of a change in your work, eh, Sir Handel? Bertie called cheekily. Sir Handel just ignored him and crossed the points. He then stopped in the loop to uncouple from the trucks and made his way carefully towards the work site. He felt the track buckle beneath him. It's not that bad, he told himself. I don't know why this sort of work is considered so important. He drifted off as he looked down. He could feel the rails sloping away beneath him. He gulped and closed his eyes. He thought back on all the things he had said about Rusty. It seemed that in that one moment he had realised how badly he had misjudged the little diesel. To perform work as dangerous as this, it was unthinkable, unimaginable even. Come on, Sir Handel, said his driver. But Sir Handel didn't respond. Instead, he began to shake violently. Images flashed through his head as he remembered stories of engines who overbalanced on uneven track. He looked down the gradient. It rolled gently towards the woods at the bottom, a short distance away. Yet to Sir Handel, it seemed to be as stiff as the mountain road was. All of a sudden, his memories came back to him, of the day when he almost fell off a cliff. He had only survived because of Duke, and now with no Grandpuff to protect him, he felt worse than ever before. Already he could see himself falling, cab over wheels, striking the ground hard, hot coals from his firebox spreading all over and setting the grass ablaze. He shut his eyes tight, and there was nothing his driver or fireman could do to make him move another yard. Bertie, now realizing the severity of the situation, knew what he had to do. Without wasting a moment, he took off down the road as soon as his passengers were on board. "I must find someone, I must," he panted. Peter Sam was sizzling at Renea's station with Ada, Jane, Mabel and Beatrice when Bertie screeched into the car park. "Sir Handel's stranded at the loop," he explained to Peter Sam. "He shut his eyes tight and is refusing to move. He's too scared." Peter Sam knew full well that the passengers couldn't be kept waiting. But he also knew that if Sir Handel stayed there, it would only result in more delays. So he made a plan. He asked his crew to fetch a strong rope and the station master to contact the owner and arrange for a bus replacement service. The passengers were immediately informed of this as soon as it was arranged. Some of them grumbled dreadfully, but they all eventually understood the nature of the situation and clambered aboard Bertie, while Peter Sam was uncoupled from the coaches and puffed quickly away. He soon approached Skarloey station. He could see Sir Handel just in front of him. Sir Handel was shaking furiously. His eyes were shut tight and the expression on his face was one of pure terror. Saying nothing, Peter Sam moved onto the other line and pushed the trucks out of the loop. He then backed down and stopped by Sir Handel. Sir Handel opened one eye and whispered a quiet, "Help me." Peter Sam smiled. His fireman tied a rope around his buffer beam and then did the same for Sir Handel's. "We'll do this," he said. "Together." Then, very carefully, he puffed forwards, taking the strain on the rope. Gently, Sir Handel puffed slowly forwards. The track swayed and buckled beneath him. He wanted to close his eyes to stop and go back, but when he saw the look of determination on Peter Sam's face, he felt some of his fear leave him. The rope between them was tight and holding firm. He knew that if he fell, he might take Peter Sam with him. And yet here was an engine who was risking his life just to help him. A new feeling took over him now. He wasn't going to let this piece of track get the better of him. His boiler pressure rose and more steam flowed through his pistons. Wheel turn by wheel turn, he began to move quicker until he slowly overtook Peter Sam. Peter Sam smiled as he let Sir Handel take the strain. Finally, Sir Handel had passed over the uneven track and was back on firm ground. The two engines stopped just before the points so that the rope could be untied. The men cheered loudly. The track fittings were perfect. Now they could start with the ballast work. Sir Handel coupled back up to the trucks, then moved onto the other line and backed down onto Peter Sam. Peter Sam wanted to say something about picking up slack, but given the look of gratitude on Sir Handel's face, he felt that would be unnecessary. They made their way back to Renea's station, where the Finn controller was waiting. "Well, Sir Handel," he said, "I hear you've had quite an ordeal. I've also heard all your remarks against Rusty, and I'm not impressed. You know how hard he has worked to maintain the line for our benefit. Perhaps this experience will teach you to value the work of others more." "Yes, sir," Sir Handel replied sadly. "As for you, Peter Sam," said the Finn controller, turning to him, "I'm very pleased with you. I would normally find the idea of rail replacement buses abhorrent at best. But I understand the circumstances you both were in. You stepped in to help a fellow engine when they needed it most, and gave them the support and reassurance they needed to carry on. You are a really useful engine. Thank you, sir, beamed Peter Sam proudly. Now then, Sir Handel, the Finn controller said, as the fittings are secure enough, you may go back to the wharf and collect the ballast from Gordon's goods train, after you've taken Rusty to the workshops. Yes, sir, said Sir Handel. He waited until Peter Sam was uncoupled and shunted onto the other line to collect the coaches, then made his way back down the line. The story had already spread to Rusty by the time Sir Handel had arrived. Rusty thought of all the things he wanted to say to Sir Handel about how he had been treated by him. But the apologetic look on Sir Handel's smokebox told Rusty all he needed to know. Without a word, Sir Handel coupled Rusty to his train, and they set off down the line. And from that day to this, Sir Handel has always been most careful about the remarks he makes concerning diesels and track maintenance, smiled Rusty. Sir Handel smiled ruefully. Yes, well, credit where credit's due, he said. Ivo Hugh yawned. Thank you for telling me all these stories, he said to the other engines. I never knew all these things happened on our railway before. Soon the other engines returned to the sheds. They had heard about the stories and wanted to hear them too, and Sir Handel, Peter Sam and Rusty were only too happy to oblige. But Ivo Hugh heard nothing of this. He was already fast asleep.